Good morning and welcome back. Myself Dr. JIBRAN Ahmed presents to you Simply Pathology, and today we are back with another very important lecture. Today we are going to discuss about another important hallmark of cancer, that is invasion and metastasis. So let us not waste any time, let us begin. So invasion and metastasis, as you know, it is a very important hallmark of malignancy, and it is associated with cancer mortality and morbidity. Remember that the metastatic process is not an easy one, as over here the tumor cells, they have to undergo a series of steps, plus they have to escape the host immune system, and they also have to adapt to the new microenvironment. Also remember that both genetic as well as epigenetic alterations are going to promote the metastatic cascade. Now remember that the metastatic cascade is having two important phases. One is your invasion of the extracellular matrix, and second is your vascular dissemination, tissue homing and colonization. So first we are going to discuss the invasion of the extracellular matrix. So the tumor cells, they interact with the extracellular matrix at several stages in metastasis. The tumor cells, first they will breach the basement membrane, enter the extracellular matrix, that is the interstitial tissue, then they are going to breach the vascular basement membrane, and then they will enter the blood vessel. Now once the tumor has reached the site of metastasis, again they will have to come out of the blood vessel, so they will have to breach the vascular basement membrane once again, and then they are going to enter the extracellular matrix, and from the extracellular matrix again they will breach the basement membrane and establish the metastasis. So there are four important steps in the invasion of the extracellular matrix. One is the loosening up of the tumor cell interaction. Second is the degradation of the extracellular matrix. Third is the attachment to the remodeled extracellular matrix component. And fourth is your migration and invasion of the tumor cells. So the first step we are going to discuss in detail, that is the loosening up of the tumor cell interaction. So loosening up of the tumor cell interaction. Okay, so first we are going to see that normally the cells are held together by means of certain adhesion molecule called as E-cadherin. Okay, the other normal components, okay, that participate in invasion and metastasis are your basement membrane, your extracellular matrix component, that is your type 4 collagen and laminin. Okay, then you are having certain receptors on the surface of the cell called as fibronectin receptor as well as your laminin receptor. So the loosening up of the tumor cell interaction is the first step in the process of invasion and metastasis. Remember that normally the cells are held together by the adhesion molecule, that is the E-cadherin. But in case of tumors, there is a down regulation of the E-cadherin. As you can see over here in the tumor cells, there is a down regulation of E-cadherin, and the cells are no more in contact with each other. So how does this down regulation of E-cadherin take place? It can occur either via mutation, or it can occur via silencing of the E-cadherin gene by a process called as EMT. EMT stands for epithelial to mesenchymal transition, and it is an integral process for metastasis of carcinomas. Remember that the metastatic oncogenes, which encode transcription factors called as snail and twist, they are the ones who control the process of EMT. Now EMT is basically characterized by the down regulation of the epithelial markers like the E-cadherin and up regulation of mesenchymal markers like vimentin and smooth muscle actin. One very important example where EMT is well documented is breast and prostate cancer metastasis. Okay, now the second important step of invasion is the degradation of the extracellular matrix. So let us see. So over here what we are watching, that the tumor cell, they are having certain enzymes, okay, certain collagenases, proteases, that is going to break down the extracellular matrix. So here the tumor cell is having certain proteases called as the matrix metalloproteases, certain enzymes called as the type 4 collagenase, which is going to break down the collagen. Okay, and we are having certain plasminogen activator also inside these tumor cells, which helps in breakdown of the extracellular matrix. So here is the type 4 collagen. Okay, and here is how the basement membrane is, and here is how the type 4 collagen is getting cleaved, if you can see in brown. Okay, so the degradation of the extracellular matrix is the second step in the invasion process, and this degradation of the extracellular matrix is accomplished by the secretion of certain proteolytic enzymes. And who is secreting these proteolytic enzymes? The tumor cells as well as the stromal cells, which are stimulated by the tumor cell. Okay, and these proteolytic enzymes are of three main types. One is the matrix metalloproteases, cathepsin D, and urokinase plasminogen activator. So these proteases, they help in invasion by digesting or breaking down or by remodeling the basement membrane and the interstitial connective tissue. So here the two important matrix metalloproteases are MMP2 and 9. They are the most important. Okay, remember MMP9, that is also called as gelatinase, it is best for metastasis. Why? Because it is cleaving your type 4 collagen, which is found within the epithelial and vascular basement membrane, as well as it is involved in the release of vascular endothelial growth factor from the extracellular matrix storage pool, and also the cleavage products, which is stimulating angiogenesis, chemotaxis, and helping to promote growth. So, and as you all recall, angiogenesis is very important for metastasis. So this is how there is a degradation of the extracellular matrix by the proteolytic enzymes. Okay, now the third important step in the invasion is the attachment to the remodeled extracellular matrix component. So this is a normal cell. Okay, in the normal cell, okay, this is the epithelial cell, normal epithelial cell, which is composed of two kinds of receptors. One is the laminin receptor, which is binding with the laminin, and there is a fibronectin receptor, okay, which is binding with the type 4 collagen. So remember, both the fibronectin and the laminin receptor, they are called as integrins. Okay, the fibronectin and the laminin receptors are called as integrins, and both these receptors, they bind to the basement membrane collagen as well as laminin. Okay, so this binding of the fibronectin to the basement membrane collagen and laminin is strictly restricted to the basal aspect of the epithelial cells. Okay, and it helps maintain the cell in a resting polarized state. Means a normal what is a polarized state? For example, there is a certain relationship between the cell and the basement membrane. So over here the cell is lying at 90 degrees to the basement membrane. So this is one polarity that is maintained. Okay, the nucleus of the cell is at the basement, near the basement membrane. Again, this is one polarity that is maintained, and these particular receptors are helping in maintain the relationship between the tumor cells and the basement membrane. So remember, if this adhesion between the integrins and the basement membrane components, that is the collagen and laminin, if it is breaking, then that is going to stimulate apoptosis and cell death. Okay, this is going to stimulate apoptosis and cell death. So this is what will happen normally in a cell if there is any alteration in the relationship between your integrins and the collagen or laminin. Okay, remember, in case of tumor cells, remember, they show loss of adhesion. Okay, they show loss of adhesion. Okay, but this loss of adhesion between the integrins and between the collagen and laminin, this does not trigger any kind of apoptosis in the tumor cells. So the tumor cells escape cell death by apoptosis, and this is called as anoikis, meaning without any home. Okay, without any home. So remember, just one thing is there. Normally, in simple words, I would like to say the epithelial cells, they are attached to the basement membranes via the integrin receptors, okay, and they are attached to the basement membrane collagen and laminin. So if this adhesion between the basement membrane and between the integrin receptor, if it is lost, the cell is going to trigger cell death by apoptosis. But such kind of apoptosis is not seen in case of tumor cells. That means if there is a loss of adhesion between the tumor cell and between the basement membrane, it will not trigger apoptosis, and the cells are going to escape cell death by apoptosis. This phenomenon is called as anoikis, meaning without a home. Additionally, remember, the matrix itself is modified in ways that is going to promote invasion and metastasis. For example, the matrix metalloproteases 2 and 9, they cleave the basement membrane protein, that is the laminin and collagen, and once they cleave these basement membrane protein, they create novel sites or certain new sites, which is helping the tumor cells to bind to such novel site and stimulates the migration of the tumor cells. The third important step is migration and invasion of the tumor cell. Okay, the migration and invasion of tumor cell, that is the fourth important step. So if you see over here, now how they are going to migrate, let us see. So again, these are our tumor cells. As you can see, the tumor cells have now, there is a loss of adhesion with other cells, so there is a loosening. Then you can see they have degraded the extracellular matrix. Then they have traversed the matrix via binding to novel sites, and now the tumor cell is going to migrate more and more. So how is the process of migration of tumor cells taking place? Remember, the tumor cells are releasing certain growth factors and cytokines, okay, and those growth factors and cytokines, they are stimulating the tumor cell itself, okay. So these are called as autocrine motility factors, which itself, the tumor cell is releasing these autocrine factors and they are acting on the tumor cell itself, okay. On the other hand, if you see, the inflammatory cells and the fibroblasts which are present in the extracellular matrix, even they are releasing certain growth factors which is stimulating the tumor cell, okay, to migrate, okay. So locomotion is the final step of invasion, propelling the tumor cells through the degradation of the basement membrane and the zones of the matrix proteolysis, okay, and through the zones of matrix proteolysis. So remember, the migration process takes place how? For example, this is a tumor cell, okay, behind there is a trailing edge, in front there is a leading edge. So first the tumor cells, they are attached to the matrix at the leading edge and they detach from the matrix at the trailing edge, and then the cell is going to contract the actin cytoskeleton to ratchet forward. Such movement is stimulated by multiple factors, as we have already seen. Number one, the tumor cell derives cytokines, chemokines and the growth factors, okay, and these factors, they are released by the tumor cells and they are acting on the tumor cells. That is why it is called as autocrine in nature. The same factors which are released by one cell is acting on the same cell. Second, the cleavage products of the extracellular matrix components like the collagen and the laminin, they are also stimulating the migration. And thirdly, the stromal cell derived factor, that is the hepatocyte growth factor and the scatter factor, they are releasing certain factors which are acting on the tumor cell because they are acting on other cell. For example, they are released from the stromal cell but they are acting on the tumor cell. That is why it is paracrine in nature. That is why the action is paracrine in nature. Stromal cells, like the innate and the adaptive immune cells, the fibroblast and the endothelial cells, together with the extracellular matrix, they support the malignant tumor behavior. So with this, we have completed the first phase of invasion and metastasis, that is, we have completed invasion of the extracellular matrix. Now we come to the second phase of metastasis, that is vascular dissemination, homing and colonization, okay. So here let us see, so once the tumor cells are present in the circulation, they are quite vulnerable to destruction, okay. So what are the forces that is going to cause destruction of tumor cells in circulation? The mechanical shear stress, apoptosis, that is anoikis, and thirdly the immune system. So how does the tumor cell survive in circulation? Remember that the metastatic tumor cells are much more likely to establish metastasis as tumor aggregates than as single cell. What they are saying, individual tumor cells, if they try to metastasize, they cannot, they will die. But if they form a tumor emboli, if they aggregate, if the tumor cells are going to aggregate, then there is a better chance of survival and causing metastasis. So how does this tumor cell aggregation or clumping occurs? So the tumor cells, they can combine with the blood components, like the tumor cells can combine with the platelets, which will enhance the tumor cell survival, as it is going to lead to the formation of tumor emboli. Again, the tumor cells can also, can be glued together with the help of fibrin deposition, and this fibrin deposition occurs because of activation of factor number 12 by the polyphosphate anions present on the surface of the tumor cell. So this fibrin deposition will further stabilize the tumor embolus. Now tumor cells are also having certain stem cells which is giving plasticity to the tumor embolus. It helps the tumor to adapt to the new microenvironment. Okay, it helps the tumor to adapt to the new microenvironment. So just to repeat, the tumor embolus or the aggregate is most commonly formed with the platelets, and sometimes they are formed with the help of leukocytes. The tumor embolus or the aggregates, they can either form a homotypic interaction or they can form a heterotypic interaction. And finally, the tumor embolus spreads to distant site where it adheres to the endothelial basement membrane. It will penetrate and then enter the extracellular matrix of the metastatic tissue or the organ. It is rather a very simple process. Okay. Now remember, where the circulating tumor cell arrest and eventually form clinically significant metastatic deposit, they appear to relate to three factors. So now if you see, certain tumor goes to certain tissues only, or certain tumor is going to metastasize to certain tissues only. So what are the factors which are regulating where the tumor cells are going to metastasize? First is the location and the vascular drainage of the primary tumor. So the first organ in accordance with the anatomy, downstream of the tumor is most likely to harbor the metastasis. Example, in case of colon carcinoma, they will first involve the liver. Second is the tropism of particular kind of cell for specific tissues. Certain cancers, they choose certain tissues only for metastasis. This is called as organ tropism. For example, cancer of the breast and prostate, okay, they metastasize to the bones mainly, whereas bronchogenic carcinoma, they metastasize to the adrenals and the brain, whereas neuroblastomas, they metastasize to the liver or the bones. So what is the mechanism of organ tropism? So first mechanism, the tumor cells may express certain adhesion molecule whose ligands are present preferentially on the endothelial cells of the target organs. Example, the tumor cells, they express CD44 adhesion molecule which binds to the hyaluronate on the high endothelial venules of the lymph node. In simple terms, tumor cells expressing CD44 adhesion molecule most commonly metastasize to the lymph nodes. Even certain solid tumors which express the CD44 molecule, they also spread to the lymph node. Second mechanism of organ tropism is that the tumor cells express chemokine receptors which guides the tumor cells to tissues expressing certain chemokines. Example, the breast cancer, they express the chemokine receptors CXCR4 and the CCR7. And thirdly, there is a seed soil hypothesis. Some tissues they are favorable for tumor growth, whereas few might be unfavorable for tumor growth in spite of having a rich blood supply. Example, the muscles and the spleen. If you see, muscles and spleen, though they are having a very good amount of blood supply, rarely they will have metastasis from any particular tissue. So the reason behind that is not known as of this time, but this is also one of the reasons. Few of the tissues, they have a fertile soil, few of the tissues, they are not fertile for the growth in spite of having a good blood supply. Example, the muscles and the spleen, which are rare sites of metastasis. Now, the basic third important thing over here is escape from tumor dormancy. So even after the tumor cells reach and they survive in the distant tissue, they may fail to grow. Okay, so they may fail to grow, and this is called as tumor dormancy. It is most commonly seen in melanoma, breast carcinoma and prostate carcinoma. So to keep on growing, remember the tumor cells constantly needs to secrete certain cytokines, growth factors and extracellular matrix molecules. These molecules will act on the resident stromal cells and it makes the metastatic site habitable for the cancer cell. It will make the metastatic site habitable for the cancer cell. For example, the breast cancer which metastasizes to the bone, it releases a factor called as parathormone related peptide. This peptide basically stimulates a ligand called as the rank ligand, which is going to stimulate osteoclast activity. This osteoclast is going to degrade the bone matrix and release growth factors like insulin like growth factor and TGF beta, which will bind to the receptors on the cancer cell and help out and promote its growth and survival. So with this, we are going to end this particular topic of invasion and metastasis. And just to summarize the entire thing, just look at this diagram. This is a transformed cell. This is the primary tumor. This is the endothelium. Okay, that is the black endothelium. And the one which is marked with red is the basement membrane. Okay. And here is the host lymphocyte and here is the platelet which is participating in formation of tumor embolus. So here, after the metastatic subclone arises, it is going to cause adhesion and invasion of the basement membrane. Okay, they are going to pass through the extracellular matrix, and from there they will be intravasation meaning they are going to cross the vascular basement membrane and the endothelium, and then they are going to intravasate inside the circulation. They are going to enter the circulation. Now once they are in the circulation, they will interact with the host blood component like the host lymphocytes and the platelets, and they are going to form a tumor embolus or a tumor aggregate. Okay, and once this tumor cell aggregate finds a suitable location, it is going to adhere to the vascular basement membrane, it is going to extravasate, and then it is going to deposit in the extracellular matrix and establish the metastasis. Okay, and carry out angiogenesis, which is going to support the growth of the tumor cell. So with this, we have completed this particular hallmark of cancer, that is invasion and metastasis. Hope you all have enjoyed this lecture, and if you are enjoying this lecture thoroughly, and if you think that my lectures are supporting you in any way, please do contribute towards this channel so we can sustain ourselves. Thank you very much guys for watching this lecture. Please do subscribe and share this channel with those in need. Thank you very much.